you're a lazy person who has a later mentality, if you have the mindset of, let me get back to you about that later, I'll call you later, it ends today. Your laziness is leading to your poverty, not only of your riches, but also your resources. Continue watching. When you are lazy, it's going to lead to early death because you're sleeping a lot. And when you're sleeping a lot, that's one of your excuses because you don't want to take care of the things that you put off till later. And also because you dread the things you have to do, hence why you love sleep. And when you love sleep, that leads to poverty, which is poverty not only just of riches, but also resources. If you know of anyone who is always telling you, I'll do it later, comment below on how that made you feel of being the recipient of that. Or if you are a lazy person, comment below and let us know how is your life been when you are lazy. Because when you're lazy, your employer is looking at you and it's not going to upgrade you. And because they see, well, if you're not taking care of the task right now, why should I give you more and why should I increase your pay? Laziness and love of sleep go hand in hand because when you keep snoozing and snoozing and snoozing, that is love of sleep and that means you're lazy. And if you need more of how to become disciplined, check out the link above. And it's important that you realize your love of sleep is because of being too consumed with the things that need to be done. And it's time for you to have sweet sleep, which is when you are getting things done in order for you to rest at night because there's no anxiety, there's no depression, and you're able to know that, okay, I took care of everything and now I could go to sleep. And that is productivity, which is an ant. There are 3 lessons to learn from an ant. Number 1 is they work in groups. As I mentioned earlier, when you see them at the barbecue, they're not by themselves. They come a boatload carrying out food and carrying out paper resources that they need. And the cool thing about ants is that they store up. It's not, oh, let me just take care of things for summertime. No, they continue storing up so then when it's time for harvest, everything is already there. And it's important for you as well to move and think like an ant. Once they start something, they finish it. Unlike a lazy person, as I said, it's I'll do it later. No, the ant, you start something and you finish it. And it's very important with productivity that every task that you start, you finish it. Don't leave it all undone because when you leave it all undone, that leads to lack of sleep because you are worrying and it trickles down. We don't want that. We're all about productivity because that leads to riches and as well as resources. And if you notice with an ant doesn't need someone to oversee them and look over their shoulder to make sure all the tasks are done. And it's important when you, even at work, don't have someone who's always looking over your shoulder because they don't trust how you've been doing things because from the past, you've shown character that doesn't give productivity. That with productivity, that you come in early and you leave a little late. That because you start at 9 doesn't mean come on 9 o'clock, and that because you clock out at 5 doesn't mean to start packing up at 4:55 and then it's time for 5 o'clock and you clock out. No, that doesn't show teamwork. It does not show that you are there to excel. And it's important to show that your employer that you want to excel by coming in a little bit early. I'm not saying an hour early and an hour late. Give it 10-15 minutes early and 10-15 minutes late to just show that you care about the work you're doing. And it's important, even if you have an employer that you don't like. Trust me, I've been there where I had an employer that I did not like until I came across this verse in Colossians 3, which says about working for God. And once I realized, you know what, God is my employer and I'm working for him, then that changed my whole mindset that I did not care for my boss, because at the end of the day, my boss was God, and God was watching my attitude. He was watching how I treated my clients. He was watching how I treated my boss and what I thought about them and my response to them. And once God saw how I was improving my character and my posture towards my boss, guess what? I got elevation. And it's time for you to level up with your mindset on how you feel about work. A lot of people are complaining about work, and then you get laid off and then you're mad. But all the words that you said 6 months before, be intentional about the words you say, because then your words catch up to you later. I was laid off in 2019, but when I look back, I was complaining about that job for like forever. So for me to cry boohoo when I got laid off, yes, it was unexpected. Birds catched up to me and I got laid off. Remember that at work or in life general, even at home, to be productive, because sweet sleep comes to those who work diligently and productive. And then you'll be able to get things done and sleep well. Tragic end of a lazy person is losing a resource, which is a job, which will lead to loss of riches, which is the income that comes from that resource. It's time for you to be productive. If you want to learn more about becoming disciplined so then you can have a productive life, check out the next video. Stay resilient.